what's up guys? I'm Rob Richards and I'd like to wish all of you a happy 2017. I'm also proud to be part of the Prozis 12-week body transformation program. This is a great program for beginners and advanced lifters, broken down into 3 phases across 12 weeks. It's going to take you back to the essentials of weight training, but also help teach you more about some specific and isolation exercises, and finish off at the end of this program with some conditioning and superset exercises. In fact, throughout today's workout, I'll be addressing some of the best chest exercises throughout this entire program. Throughout phase 1, we'll be having a look at the essential fundamental chest exercises. Phase 2, we'll take a look at some more specific and isolation exercises. And then phase 3, like I said, some more conditioning and circuit-based exercises. For more information and to get started on this free 12-week program, click on the link. And also don't forget to stay tuned for more of our live Facebook sessions where you can ask me and our female host any questions relating to nutrition, training, and lifestyle. So without further ado, let's kick things off and get started with exercise number 1. Okay, so as you can see, we're starting off with the bench press, one of the fundamental cornerstone exercises for any good chest workout. And regardless whether you're a beginner or an advanced lifter with years of experience behind, getting accustomed to a free weight exercise like this is the pillar to this entire 12-week transformation program. And the reason for that is it's about control and execution. It's about engaging and recruiting the right types of muscle fibers for each muscle group and workout. And for bench press, this is great for really hitting that full width of the chest. So a few tips on this one. First is hand position. Make sure that you have a comfortable hand position overhand, approximately shoulder width and a half. So as you lower down, your wrists and your elbows are perfectly at a right angle with the floor. The second thing is about control. So that means stopping the bar just before it touches down on the chest. We're not powerlifting here. So control that bar down, stop when it's about an inch away from the chest, and then squeeze the chest as you force that bar up, feeling that contraction in the chest, not so much with the arms. And the final thing is we are pushing all the way up, but we're not locking out our arms. That transfers the effort to the triceps, and we want to keep this in the chest. So make sure you have a slight bend in the elbow as you lift. Slow, controlled, and aim to add no more than 5 to 10% of the total weight each set. Therefore, you can aim for these 15-12 reps, which is key for this first phase of the training, which is all about establishing a good framework to develop and push yourself throughout weeks 5 and onwards. Okay, after hitting a good 3 sets from here, let's move on. Have a look at another exercise that you're going to see a lot of throughout that first phase of this program. So another exercise you're going to see a lot of throughout phase 1 and 2 is dumbbell flies. A key exercise for working the chest opposed to the bench press. You see, with chest we have 2 basic movements, a fly and a press. And these 2 exercises, working with free weights, are the fundamental basic exercises that you all need to get familiar with before progressing into phase 2. Couple of tips on this one. Keep the arm position fixed throughout that full range of motion. This means not bending the elbow as you bring that weight down. You want to keep the arm fixed, slight bend in the elbow, and lower the weight down enough until you feel a stretch in the chest. Then squeeze and contract the chest as you pull the arm back up, focusing on the contraction. You've got to think about the muscle working as opposed to just simply doing the movement. 10 reps on this one, and don't go so quickly that you feel the weight bounce at the bottom. This is about control from start through to finish. Okay, let's have a look at a couple of exercises you're going to see throughout phase 2 as we look at some more specific and isolated type exercises. Let's go. So one thing you're going to see more frequently throughout phase 2, weeks 5, 6, 7, and 8, are exercises that you may not be too familiar with. And the reason I've included these in phase 2 is to take your body out of your comfort zone and introduce some exercises that will work the muscle in a way that you haven't worked it quite as commonly. These cables on an incline bench are fantastic to really recruit those deep type 2B muscle fibers in the chest, those growth fibers. And even though you might not think you can build muscle using cables, this would be an exercise later on in the workout after we've hit our basic essentials like the bench press, like the dumbbell flies. Couple of keys to this one: don't set the bench too high. You don't want to be working too much of the front deltoids, so no more than about 2 or 3 clicks up. And also you can adjust the bench height for different sets. Just because you may not be adjusting the weights for every set you can adjust something else about that exercise, and the bench press with the cables is a prime example of that. You can change the bench height, which will recruit a different amount of muscle fibers that are being worked at each of those different bench heights. So again, check on the link, follow the program, start from phase 1, and you'll quickly progress through phase 2 and phase 3 over the 12 weeks. Right, this exercise is a great example, regardless whether you perform on a machine or with free weights or a cable, of isolating the chest and working each arm independent of each other. And what I mean by this is typically when you train chest, you perform it with both arms working at the same time. The reason we're going to start to introduce isolation exercises into phase 2 is so that we can work on imbalances within the muscle, and the only way to really focus on that is to work each arm and each muscle group separately. So with each arm, we're going to perform a full set of 12, even up to 15 reps, and then rest 30 seconds and move on to the right arm. Now, a key to this type of training is you don't always start with your left arm. If you go left, then right, then start with your right arm, back to your left arm, and so on. Therefore, you're not going to allow your more dominant side to always get ahead of yourself. If you find you have a weaker side, let's say your arm or chest, don't try and do more reps or more sets on that side. A great way to get around this is start with your weaker side. Let's say you hit a wall at 9 or 10 reps, then match that with your stronger side. Don't keep going because you can. If you can only do 9 or 10 reps with one side, then equal that with the other side. Soon you'll find your weaker side will start to catch up, and you can then match it with your stronger side. Okay, let's have a look at phase 3, and I want to show you 2 exercises performed in a superset manner, which is one exercise performed immediately by the next one. Let's go check it out. So one thing you're going to see a lot of in phase 3, supersets, drop sets, and circuits. This is all about keeping the intensity up and making sure that once you've hit your training threshold, there's another exercise that is going to work that muscle from a completely different manner. This example of leaning forward parallel bar dips or tricep presses focuses on the lower portion of the chest, and then supersetting that with some side to side press ups using a medicine ball in the middle is working different angles and heights as well, something that we typically don't do when we stick with our usual bench, dumbbell, and even cable exercises. All I've got to say on this is it's really going to push you. So phase 1, phase 2, and then phase 3, which covers conditioning and is much more about intensity than overall weight. In fact, you're going to see a lot more body weighted exercises on here, and this one really is about feeling that muscle work, contracting the muscle, squeezing it, and not rushing it. So take your time on these, and just with phase 1 and phase 2, this is all about executing the exercise the way it should be. For more information and to see each of these exercises broken down set by set, including all of the reps, check out our Prozis 12-week body transformation on the link exclusively at Prozis.com.